Are you looking for a way to market your SaaS business? Yeah, people are searching for your software. They're wanting to know how to use it. Or they're wondering, like, what options are there for me? What software should I be using? And they might not know that you exist, but they're searching for a solution. And I'm going to show you how they can find you. I'm also going to get very tactical. I'm going to show you how the steps that you can take today will make sure that you dominate YouTube in just 4 months. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Also, every step that you take will build momentum. It's kind of like that snowball that gets bigger and bigger. This strategy is evergreen. So the steps that you take in the first month will be generating you leads years from now. So let's dive right in. Okay, so you want to dominate YouTube. I mean, that's what I'm presenting to you in your space, in your software as a service business. You want to be the go-to person and you want to be at the top of YouTube. I'm going to show you 5 ingredients, just 5 ingredients or 5 steps that if you follow, you'll get there. And in fact, you'll dominate your branch. You'll know what I mean by branch in a minute. You'll dominate your branch in about 4 months. Okay, so ingredient number 1 is leaf titles. For you to understand this whole leaf titles or dominate your branch, you've got to understand my tree analogy. So picture a tree. You've got a broad trunk that goes out to branches, that goes out to the leaves. The trunk represents your core area of expertise. Like, what does your software do? Okay, that's the core. Like, what does it solve? Is it in accounting? Is it in editing? Is it like a CRM or something like that? I mean, that's the trunk of your tree. All the different branches represent the different categories of your expertise, and the leaves represent the very, very specific questions that your target audience is asking online on Google and on YouTube. So we're going to focus on the SaaS world, but just for the example, let me show you one that I've already got prepared. Let's pretend that you help with productivity. Your software helps with productivity. Well, what are the questions? What are the leaves that people are asking around productivity? So it might be, what can increase productivity in a dental office, or how to improve productivity on a construction site. So those are the types of questions that people are asking online. I did not make these up, but I did some research and I found what are the consistently asked questions around productivity. I'm going to show you a variety of examples so that we can find one that most closely matches your business. Okay, so let's just say Adobe Premiere. That's the tool my team uses for their editing. And let's turn the questions button on. And I'm going to actually turn my word count filter up to 8. So, because I'm looking for really, really specific questions. All right, I just noticed that I spelled it wrong. There's actually an extra E that belongs in there. So we're going to find a lot more results this way. All right, how to add text in Adobe Premiere Pro. How to zoom in. How to zoom in on Adobe Premiere Pro. How to add music, how to crop, how to cut. Okay, we can scroll down and just see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of questions. There's 112 pages of results here. So just in this one example, this is in the case of Adobe Premiere, but there are so many questions that people are asking, and I bet the same thing is true for you, whether they're asking questions about your software by name or just by function or by challenge, like they're trying to solve something, they're trying to figure something out. People are going online trying to find a solution. So maybe it's a different editing software. If I want to learn how to sync video to audio, this isn't specific to Adobe, but there are people that are asking, how to do it in Premiere, but there's a lot of people just asking it in general, or how to sync video and audio in Instagram using CapCut, right? So depending on the words that you put into the search bar will really customize the questions that you can find. Another example that's software specific might be QuickBooks. And there's going to be so many. I'm going to definitely turn on my word count filter. Let's go up to 8 again. All right, and still huge, huge, huge volume. Even though these ones are big, I would actually recommend going down to questions that have between 10 and 100 searches per month. Those are the low-hanging fruit. Well, let's just take a look at those. How to record cash paid for rent in QuickBooks Online. How to record sold services in QuickBooks Online. How to undo a reconciliation. How to avoid a check, and so on and so forth. So all these are specific to QuickBooks, but what if I do one that like import transactions? And I got to make sure I spell it right. So then you're finding questions and you find, yeah, a lot of people are typing QuickBooks, but watch this. What if I want to exclude QuickBooks? Okay, there's some about Quicken, there's some about Excel, how to import credit card transactions to NetSuite. So if you would like to try a free trial of this Keyword Magic tool, you can go to herokeywordtool.com domination.com. You can play around with some of these searches like I've done. That is ingredient number 1. You've got to find the leaf titles for your business. Ingredient number 2, you want your episodes to be an average length of 10 to 12 minutes. And ingredient number 3, you want a 50% average retention rate. So if your video is 10 minutes long, some people click play, but they only watch like 30 seconds and then they leave. But other people are going to watch all the way to the end. So if your average is somewhere around 50% or higher, YouTube will be much more likely to promote your videos to your target audience. Ingredient number 4 is custom thumbnails. They become a lot more competitive on YouTube, and if you want your videos to get clicked on, you've got to create custom thumbnails. So take a look at what I'm showing here. There's 2 thumbnails for the same video. One of them has red, one of them has blue, and the performance is actually quite a bit different between the 2. The first one, the red one, has a 6.6% click-through rate. That means out of 100 impressions, 6.6 people click on the red one and 8.3 click on the blue one. So here's an example with a guy named Sean Higgins. For one episode, we actually designed 6 different thumbnails just so we could see them, compare them to each other, and choose for ourselves which one really captures our attention, which one creates the most curiosity and makes me want to click on it. Now, YouTube just launched a feature in the last couple of months that allows you to compare thumbnails. So if we were to take these 6, we can pick the top 2 or 3 and upload all of them, either 1, 2, or 3, to YouTube, and YouTube will rotate between them each day, and over time, you'll be able to figure out what's the click-through rate for this one, what's the click-through rate for this one, and it will keep the best one. Here's some thumbnails that we designed for one of Jason Schroeder's episodes. We designed 9 different thumbnails just so we could compare the different facial expressions, the different text, the different background. And I can look at it manually and kind of pick my favorites that I think are going to perform best. I've been doing this for a while, so I know how to narrow it down, but ultimately it's just testing it. So if we're going to upload 2 or 3 to YouTube, we'll then know which one is the best performer. All right, so we're almost there. That's 4 ingredients. Now, ingredient number 5 is you've got to launch 5 episodes per week. Now, I know that sounds like a lot. I consider that daily, so it is a lot of content. But this type of episode where you're answering questions, you can actually film in bulk. Today, I'm filming 20 episodes for the Nate Woodbury channel. From 9 in the morning till 5 at night, you can film 20 episodes. And if you launch 5 episodes a week, then that gives you 4 weeks worth of content. You've only got to do this once every 4 weeks. Now, you can start more gradually as well. I would recommend a minimum of 1 episode per week. So if you do what I'm doing and you film 20 episodes in a day, that gives you nearly 5 months worth of content just launching 1 episode a week. Each episode is going to bring in a trickle of traffic and a trickle of leads. Now, these are your ideal clients. These are like referral quality leads that you can expect. But if you launch 1 episode, that'll bring in just a little trickle, and another episode, another trickle. Well, eventually, if you get tens and even hundreds of these, it'll add up to a fire hose of lead generation for your business. So that's why as soon as you can, as soon as it's realistic, I recommend that you increase to 5 episodes per week. Now, many of my clients already have a 7-figure business, and then they launch this strategy, and after about 12 months of doing this strategy, they've been able to leverage YouTube for an additional 7 figures of revenue in their business. Let me show you what domination on YouTube looks like. I have a question in my clipboard. If I paste it there, how to become a construction project manager. If I hit search, all right, we've got Jason Schroeder right at the top. If we scroll down, we see that he's there. We see that he's there. So he is dominating YouTube. Let me give you another example. What is short sell versus foreclosure? Oh, look. There is Nicole Espinosa. Her channel is Short Sell Queen. Both these people you can see on the thumbnail wall behind me. And let me show you an example in another way. Okay, so this spreadsheet we're looking at right here, this is Noelle Randall. She teaches people real estate investing. Now look how I grouped these words. I did the keyword research to find these questions, but all of these questions I'm highlighting right here have the 4 words real estate investor find. All these ones down here have the words real estate investor become. Okay, so they're the same on the level 3 branch, and then that branch divides into the words find and become. So I did this research and then I showed it to Noelle. When Noelle looked at this group of questions, she says, you know what? That is not my target audience. I don't need to dominate that branch. But then she looked at this one. She says, that is my target audience. I totally want to dominate that branch. So then we looked to see where was her current ranking. So I did this research back in February. And on February 10th, you'll see that this has some yeses, it has some that say starting, and it has some that say no. Well, if we type this question into the search bar on YouTube, if she ranks at the top, that's what we call a yes. She's in the top 3. Starting means she wasn't at the top, but if we scroll down and we found her in the top 20, that would be starting. And no means we didn't find her in the top 20. So this branch right here, that she did not need to dominate, this was not her target audience, she actually already had a good amount of traction. This branch down here that she does want to dominate, you see here it's mostly no's, but she started filming episodes on February 19th, on March 6th, and on April 17th. She filmed a lot more episodes. And we checked again on April 18th, and you see we have a lot more yeses. We checked again on May 16th, even more yeses, and by July 3rd, like mostly yeses. She is dominating this branch, the real estate investor become branch. Now, I want you to dominate YouTube. I want people that are searching for your SaaS business to find you at the top. And so I've created a mini course that you can take in just a handful of hours. This course is called the YouTube Lead Gen Blueprint. It's just $17. You can find it at youtubeleadgen.net. I'll put that link down in the description below. As you go through this course, you'll understand the exact steps to take to get these same results in your business. You'll be able to master this 5-ingredient strategy, and by the end of the course, you'll know exactly what to do to pull in your target audience, to have them find you, see you as the expert. You're going to build a relationship with them, and you're going to generate leads for your business. Go to youtubeleadgen.net. I'll see you there.